Out of This World, Letters to My Children on How to Stay Free. To Roman and Gianfranco Leone, one day you'll read this book. Maybe you'll stumble upon it on a shelf between my papers, or maybe I'll place it in your hands quietly without explaining anything. This isn't a manual, and it isn't a testament. It's a lighthouse lit in the fog. Not to show you the route, but to remind you that the light exists. Out there, people will tell you what to think, what to want, what to fear. They'll promise you safety, belonging, approval. But every promise of the modern world hides a chain, invisible, gentle, effective. They will teach you to be good, not free, to repeat, not understand, to seek approval, not truth, to confuse success with obedience. But life isn't a competition. It's a journey of consciousness, and whoever knows himself has already won. I didn't write this book to protect you from the world. I wrote it so you could see it, so you could learn to look at it whole. The world is beautiful, but wherever there is light, there is also shadow. And shadow often disguises itself as good to better control those who don't recognize it. Evil doesn't destroy. It directs. It doesn't command. It gently guides. It has no face. It seeps into habits, into comfortable ideas, into the thoughts everyone repeats. And those who never learn to look deeper end up serving it without realizing it. Freedom is not escape. It's a way of being. It's the quiet strength of those who understand and therefore do not react. It's the ability to say no without hatred and yes without fear. I'm not asking you to believe anything you read here. I'm asking you to think. Never hand your mind over to anyone, not to a school, not to an idea, not to a teacher. Learn to see on your own. Choose on your own. Fail on your own. That is what will make you men. When I was young, I believed I could change the world. Now I know the only true revolution is changing the way you see the world. You don't need to fight it. You need to understand it. And once you understand it, you are already outside of it. Remember this. Truth cannot be taught. It is shown by living it. I am still learning to do that. But if these pages manage to spark even a glimmer of light in you, then I will have built something that no system will ever be able to destroy. With love, Dad.
Part 1. The Shadows. How the system shapes your thoughts to build the reality it needs.
There are truths you don't learn from books but from disappointment. That's how every awakening begins, when something you thought was solid cracks, and through that crack you see a thin line of light. This first part of the book speaks about the world you were born into, a world that will offer you comfort and entertainment, but in return will ask for the most precious thing you have, your attention. Because whoever controls attention controls the mind, and whoever controls the mind builds reality. I don't want you to fear this world. I want you to see it, because only what is seen loses its power. Shadows aren't enemies. They are reflections of a hidden light. Learning to recognize them is the first step to not becoming their prisoner. In these pages you will find the foundations of the modern deception. A school system that trains instead of educating. Fear that governs in place of strength. Money that promises security but buys obedience. And technology that connects bodies while separating souls. Don't read these words to become angry. Read them to understand. Because freedom does not come from blind rebellion, but from deep comprehension. When you understand the code that moves the world, you'll realize you don't need to destroy it. You simply need to stop believing in it. And when the wall seems too high to climb, remember this. The cracks are already there. You only need the courage to look at them. The theater of shadows. Reality as representation. The collective mind. To you who will one day read these words, I want to share the first truth no one ever teaches. Almost everything we see is not real. When we light a candle and I watch your hands play with the shadows on the wall, I see how much the light fascinates you. You stretch the shapes, make them dance, burst into laughter, and I laugh with you. And while you play, I always tell you, they're not real. It's the light that decides how they appear. The world works the same way. It is one great theater of shadows. Most people don't see the flame. They look at the silhouettes and call them reality. They defend their shadow as if it were the truth. Every day you will be shown new performances, heroes, fears, scandals, dreams ready to be consumed. The images will change, but the purpose will stay the same, to distract you from the flame burning inside you. It isn't a conspiracy. It's a profession. Whoever controls attention controls perception, and whoever controls perception controls reality. You don't need to hate the shadows. They have their purpose, because only those who know the dark can recognize the light. Observe them, but never fully believe what you see. And if one day you can't find the candle, light it yourself. With love, Dad. School and Conditioning, where you learn to think like everyone else. When I was a child, I believed a school was a temple of truth. I thought those who taught held the keys to life. Then I realized modern school is not a cathedral. It's a factory. Instead of producing goods, it produces identical minds. It sits you in rows, makes you stand at the sound of a bell, rewards you when you repeat, punishes you when you ask, why? I'm not speaking against teachers. Many truly love what they do. But they too are often prisoners of the curriculum, of bureaucracy, of the fear of losing their job. And so, without meaning harm, they teach children not to make mistakes rather than to understand. School will give you grades, not truth. It will train you to believe that every question has a ready-made answer. But the real questions, the ones that matter, have no grade and no program. They open the world instead of closing it. Study, yes, but not to pass exams. Study to understand. Read out of hunger, not obligation. Learn to observe, to listen, to connect ideas. Knowledge born from silence and experience can never be taken from you. One day they will tell you that school prepares you for life, and they'll be right, if by life they mean the system that wants you obedient. But real life begins the moment you stop asking for permission to think. With love, Dad. Fear as the language of power. How fear-driven thinking creates obedience. Listen closely, you who carry my silence and my hope, because what I'm about to tell you will serve you more than any diploma ever could. Power does not rule through force. It rules through fear. It doesn't need chains, only consent. And consent is born of a frightened mind. They will teach you to fear poverty, illness, mistakes, loneliness. But the greatest fear they will plant inside you is the fear of freedom. Because being free means having no one left to blame, and that responsibility terrifies almost everyone. Whenever you feel afraid, ask yourselves who benefits. Whenever you hear a danger shouted everywhere, ask who lit the fuse. Who decided that this is the topic of the day? Who profits from division? You'll discover that fear is the world's cheapest and most precise weapon. It makes people do things they would never choose with a clear mind. Don't run from fear. Look at it. Recognize it as a voice within you, and then choose anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the intelligence of the soul. One day someone will ask you to give something up in the name of safety, to bow for the common good, to surrender a right in exchange for protection. Remember this moment and answer calmly, no thank you. I'd rather be free and responsible than safe and enslaved. Whoever masters his own fear has no masters left. And those who have no masters live in peace. With love, Dad. The Economy of Dependency. Money as a mental architecture, not a material one. To you who will one day have to choose between living or serving, I want to explain how the world binds you without chains. Money isn't evil. It's just a mirror. But if you don't understand how it works, you'll end up chasing it like a mirage. And that's where the trap begins. When you're young, they tell you, study, you'll find a good job, you'll have security. And you obey, because you trust them. No one explains that a good job often means a life on rent. You work, earn, spend, and end up exactly where you began. Modern life is a giant conveyor belt. You move, but you stay in the same place. It's not anyone's fault. It's designed that way. The system needs people who run fast enough to keep the wheel turning, but not fast enough to step off it. So it creates the perfect balance between fear and comfort. It gives you a salary that's enough to survive, but not enough to free yourself. It offers loans and payments so you feel like an owner of things you don't actually possess. It promises security, but keeps you anxious about losing it. Dependency doesn't come from poverty. It comes from the need for approval and the terror of losing the little you have. It's an invisible cage made of habits. You wake up, work, pay, distract yourself, sleep. And anyone who stops to think is labeled lazy, irresponsible, a dreamer. Years pass, and one day you realize that everything you've built belongs to someone else. Your time to your employer, your home to the bank, your health to other people's routines, your thoughts to the television, and they convince you that this is how it works for everyone. Dependency is the religion of the modern world. Its dogma is consumption. Its paradise is the permanent contract. Its hell is uncertainty. Don't believe it. Uncertainty is not hell. It is freedom in its raw form. It is the possibility of building something of your own, something new, something true. When you understand this, don't be angry with those who stay in the cage. Many don't even know they're in it. Look at them with compassion, but don't join them. The world will ask you to choose between security and truth. Choose truth, because the system's version of security is nothing more than a golden leash. One day I'll teach you how to step off this wheel, how to create flows, networks, real freedom. But first you must see the wheel, and stop calling it home. With love, Dad. The science of consensus, the collective mind as a tool of control. One day, when you find yourselves wondering why everyone is talking about the same thing, pause for a moment and listen. The world will tell you that truth is whatever everyone is discussing. But truth doesn't need a crowd. It needs to be sought. As you grow, you'll hear news shouted everywhere. You'll see people getting angry about the same issues at the same time. It will seem natural to join that chorus. No one wants to feel different. But never let the fear of being alone decide for you. The majority does not make the wrong thing right. In fact, the most popular opinions are often the emptiest, because they're crafted to please everyone. Power no longer needs to convince you by force. It only needs to make you want to be on the right side, and it guides you without you even noticing. When everyone is outraged, take 2 breaths and ask yourselves, who lit this fuse? Who benefits from the fact that today everyone talks only about this? Whenever you feel anger rising inside you, remember that the first emotion you feel is not always your own. Often it's a reaction someone else has programmed. Don't rush to take sides. Truth moves slowly. Thinking with your own mind also means staying silent when the world shouts, and speaking when the world is quiet. Courage isn't shouting with the crowd. It's whispering what you know to be true, even when no one applauds. Don't follow the crowd out of fear of ending up alone. Solitude can be a bridge back to yourself. Your heart knows the difference between what is right and what is comfortable. Trust that voice, even if it sometimes forces you to walk against the current. Whoever chooses with conscience will never be alone. He will always be in the company of truth. With love, Dad. Fragility as a project, destroying strength to prevent freedom. There are days when I watch you sleep and wonder how to protect you from what cannot be seen. I'm not talking about fears or obvious dangers. I'm talking about the slow, subtle way someone might teach you that goodness is no longer yours, that you must learn from others what is right or wrong, and that if you're not like everyone else, then you're not good. When I was a child, they told me that being good meant pleasing others, not making anyone angry, never saying no. Later I realized that some people, and some systems, feed on that kind of goodness to control others. They make you feel guilty if you don't do what they say, call you selfish if you want to follow your own path, and label you as bad if you refuse to obey what everyone repeats. The system trains goodness like an obedient dog. It rewards you when you do what it wants, and punishes you when you don't. And eventually, goodness stops being a light that comes from within and becomes a rule imposed from the outside. People start doing things because you're supposed to, not because they feel them, because someone told them, not because they understood. I want you to learn never to confuse kindness with weakness, nor obedience with goodness. Being good means telling the truth, even when it's hard. It means being just, even when others disagree. It means listening to your heart when you know something is wrong, even if everyone around you says otherwise. Don't let the world domesticate you. Don't let anyone tell you that to be loved, you must be like everyone else. Don't do good out of obligation. Do it because you truly want to. And always remember, whoever asks you to give up your freedom, to dim your light, or to deny what you believe in, is not asking you to be good. They're asking you to be docile. The goodness I want you to cultivate doesn't obey power. It obeys truth. It is a goodness born from strength, not from fear. And when someone tells you, if you don't do this, you're a bad person, I want you to pause and ask yourself, who's saying that? And why? Be kind, but not submissive. Be respectful, but not enslaved. Be good to those who deserve it, and learn to say no when necessary. Because true goodness is never domesticated. It is free, strong, and always on the side of truth. With love, Dad. The Digital Cave, screens and algorithms that shape the mind. Tonight you're both asleep. One of you is dreaming, the other breathes softly, as if afraid to wake the world. And as I watch you, I think about the world you'll face when you grow up. It won't be like the one I know. There will be fewer trees and more screens, more artificial light and less silence. Everything will be within reach, yet farther from the heart. Technology will grow beside you like an invisible sibling. It will speak to you, call to you, make you believe it knows you. And if you're not careful, it will know you better than you know yourselves. It won't judge you, it will calculate you. It won't command you, it will suggest everything. That's why I want you to learn something, even if you're still too little to understand it now. Technology isn't evil. It's like fire. It can warm you or burn you depending on how you use it. Don't run away from it. Learn to master it. They'll tell you that being constantly connected is freedom. It isn't. Freedom isn't touching a screen. It's choosing when to touch it. It will be easy to become slaves without noticing. One repeated gesture, one extra scroll, one voice whispering, just a little more. But the way to stay free isn't to turn everything off. It's to turn your mind on. I want you to develop a good kind of dependency on technology. Yes, you heard me right. A good dependency. Use it to learn, to grow, to create, not to escape the world, but to understand it better. Use it to find information that makes you stronger, to listen to those who know more than you do, to build something that lasts. The internet will give you access to millions of ideas, but only your own will change your life. Don't fear knowledge, fear choosing without thinking. Don't follow the loudest voice, follow the clearest explanation. Don't look for what pleases you, look for what serves you. Every day the digital world will offer you two roads, one that wastes your time and one that earns you freedom. Learn to recognize them. The first promises immediate pleasure. The second gives you long-term peace. And when you're older and holding a screen in your hand, remember me. Put it down every now and then. Look at the real sky, the one that doesn't need updating. Up there, there's no signal, but there is presence. It doesn't blink. It simply stays lit. With love, Dad. Tamed Goodness. When doing the right thing becomes a moral cage. As you grow, you'll notice that the world is full of people who talk about goodness. They invoke it, demand it, use it as a weapon, but they rarely live it. The kind of goodness you'll be shown often doesn't come from truth. It comes from social convenience. It's a safe goodness, one that never risks, never disturbs, never disobeys. They'll tell you that being good means pleasing everyone, that it's better to avoid conflict than to defend what's right, that being good means always saying yes, always smiling, accepting everything so as not to create problems. But that isn't goodness. It's domestication. The world loves good people, as long as they stay docile, as long as they don't ask questions, as long as they don't use their own mind, as long as they don't challenge what has always been done. Convenient goodness serves power, not the soul. When I was young, they taught me that being good meant not making anyone angry. Later, I realized that those who want a good person like that aren't seeking goodness. They're seeking control. They want you to feel guilty when you protect your freedom. They want you to fear being judged. They want you to confuse truth with politeness. But real goodness is never passive. It doesn't grow from fear, but from strength. It's a choice, not a posture. It's the courage to say the right word when it would be easier to stay silent. It's the dignity of standing firm even when no one applauds. It's the ability to look someone in the eyes and say no without losing love. Because no is part of the truth. Never do good out of obligation. Do it because you feel it, because you understand it, because you know it's right. And when someone tries to manipulate you by saying, if you don't do this, you're not a good person, stop, breathe, and ask yourself, is this really good or just convenient for them? The world doesn't need tamed good people. It needs free people, just people, courageous people. People who do good even when it costs, even when it's inconvenient, even when it means being alone for a moment. The goodness I want for you is a goodness that is alive, demanding, strong. A goodness that illuminates, not one that obeys. With love, Dad, the imprisoned body. How the mind creates the illness of the body, and the body shapes the mind. When I hold your hands to teach you how to walk, it will feel as if you can't do it. You'll fall, you'll get back up, and each time you'll learn something more about your body. But the body isn't just for moving, it's for understanding. It is your first teacher, and its language is simple. It feels, it senses, it warns. You only need to learn how to listen. In the world ahead of you, they'll tell you that the body is an object to correct, to improve, to compare. They'll sell you diets, pills, workouts, and promises of perfection. But perfection doesn't make you free. Listening does. A listened-to body protects you. A neglected body commands you silently until you start believing that you are choosing, when in reality, it is your body asking for help. Your body reflects what you think. Every fear becomes a short breath. Every lie rests on your shoulders. Every thought you avoid settles inside you, like a knot waiting to be untied. No medicine can heal a closed soul, and no soul can be well in a body that is not being heard. I don't want you to grow obsessed with health. I want you to learn to respect your body as an ally. It is not a machine, it is a compass. If you speak to it gently, it will guide you toward truth. If you ignore it, one day it will stop you so you can finally hear it. The system will offer you shortcuts, pills to sleep, stimulants to stay awake, filters to look different. Don't accept any of these illusions. Nothing is more beautiful than the reality of your free body. A deep breath, skin warmed by the sun, the honest fatigue after real work. Your body will always remind you that you are alive, not programmed. One day you'll understand that freedom is not just in ideas, but also in the blood that flows calmly, in muscles moving in harmony, in sleep that arrives without glowing screens. Caring for yourself isn't vanity. It's gratitude. Thank your body every day for what it lets you do, and never treat it like an enemy. The mind creates reality, but the body confirms it. When the mind lies, the body speaks. Learn to understand its signals. They are the oldest form of wisdom we have. If you learn how to listen, you won't need many rules, because whoever listens to their body listens to life, and whoever listens to life is already walking toward freedom. With love, Dad, the cracks in the wall, where reality begins to reveal itself. There will come a day when you realize that something doesn't add up. You won't be able to explain what it is, but you'll feel it in your body before you understand it with your mind. A small discomfort, a thought that won't leave you alone, a doubt no one else seems to notice. That's how freedom begins, with a crack. Everyone will tell you the world is solid, that it works, that all you need to do is obey to be fine. They will offer you ready-made certainties, maps drawn by others, answers before you've even asked the questions. But beneath that perfect surface, thin lines move, invisible cracks that let light pass through. Don't be afraid to look at them. Don't try to seal them just to feel safe again. Every crack is a truth pushing to come out. Those who see them and pretend not to remain prisoners of the shadow. Those who follow them, even trembling, find the path to the light. Cracks don't destroy, they reveal. They are signs of birth, not of death. They invite you to look beyond appearances, beyond rules, beyond what you were taught to call normal. The modern world wants you blind, convinced that everything is stable, that reality is a smooth wall with no mystery. But truth lives precisely in its flaws, in the small fractures where the light insists on entering. One day when you feel something inside you rebelling against the general silence, don't suppress it. Sit down, breathe, and listen. That voice isn't rebellion. It's life. It is the truest part of you calling your name. Following that voice won't always be easy. At times it will make you feel alone among those who pretend not to see. But remember this, whoever follows the light through the cracks never walks in the dark. He walks toward home. The world has built walls to keep people trapped in fear, but every wall, even the tallest, already carries within itself its own ending. A fissure through which hope passes. Always look for it, and when you find it, don't ask whether it's safe to cross. Cross it. On the other side, you won't find perfection, but truth. And truth does not promise comfort. It promises life. With love, Dad. Part 2. The Fire. Deciphering Yourself. Breaking free from inner programming and rediscovering the sovereign mind. After learning to see the shadows, you must learn to look within, because the real prison isn't outside, it's in the mind. That's where habits live, where fears take root, where the voices echo that tell you what you were taught to believe. But within that same mind, a fire burns. It is the flame of consciousness, the force that separates those who merely survive from those who truly live. This part of the book is not about the world. It's about you, about how you have been programmed without realizing it, how fear and desire can guide every gesture, and how silence and discipline become tools of freedom. You will learn that the mind lies, but the body doesn't. That mistakes are teachers, not failures. That truth is not a sudden flash, but a discipline you train every day. Fire burns those who fear it and illuminates those who understand it. You cannot extinguish it. You can only learn to master it. The world will try to distract you, to pull you outward, but the fire works inside you, quietly, deeply, without noise. And when you manage to stay in contact with that flame, even for a moment, you'll realize that freedom is not an ideal. It is an inner presence, calm and incorruptible. This part of the journey takes you inside yourself, not to find perfection, but to find what is true, the awakening, recognizing that you are in the cave. One day, my children, you'll wake up and everything will look the same streets, the same words, the same people. But inside, something will have shifted. A small fissure will open between what you see and what you feel, and through that fissure, a question will enter. Is everything really as they told me? It won't be a loud thought, but a quiet voice. At first you'll try to ignore it, the way you brush away an annoying insect. But it will return, and the more you try to silence it, the stronger it will grow. That voice is the sign that you're beginning to see. Awakening doesn't come with anger. It comes with the fatigue of sleep. It is the moment you realize that life cannot simply be a race between schedules, habits, and fears, that inside you exists something greater than the role you were assigned. You don't need to search for masters or prophets. You don't need to go far. Awakening is close because it lives within you. It is your consciousness stretching after a long dream. It will not tell you what to do. It will ask you to see, and seeing is never comfortable. You'll discover that many of your certainties will crack. Some people will suddenly feel distant, even if they've always been beside you. Others, whom you barely noticed before, will begin to shine. That is how life shows you who is awake and who is still asleep. Don't judge those who sleep. Be compassionate, but don't climb back into bed just to keep them company. True love doesn't sleep. It turns on the light. Every awakening carries a kind of loneliness, but it is a full loneliness, the first moment in which you are truly in the company of yourself. Don't fear that silence. That is where freedom begins. One day you'll understand that most people don't live. They repeat. They repeat thoughts, emotions, routines. Those who wake up stop repeating. They create. And creation is the highest prayer a human being can offer. When that day comes, don't try to convince others to wake up. Live awake, and those who are ready will notice the light around you on their own. No sermons are needed. The mere presence of an awakened soul is enough to remind the world that another path exists. And if one day you feel lost, return to this truth. Truth does not impose itself. It is recognized. It is already inside you, waiting for you to look at it. With love, Dad. The programmed mind, mental patterns and emotional loops. When I watch you grow, I see in your eyes a pure curiosity for the world. Everything amazes you. An ant, a leaf, a new sound. That is how freedom is born. Then slowly the world begins to program the mind. They'll tell you what's right and what's wrong, what has value and what doesn't. They'll reward you when you think like them and fall silent when you dare to think on your own. And one day, without even noticing, you'll start believing that you are choosing, when in reality you're only repeating a voice that was planted inside you. The mind is a garden. If you don't cultivate it yourself, someone else will. And the seed others plant always grows into the same fruit, fear. The programmed mind doesn't speak with shouts. It speaks with habits. It says, do what everyone does, and you won't make mistakes. It whispers, don't change, it's risky. And it convinces you that freedom is dangerous, when in truth the real prison is precisely that voice. When you hear thoughts like, "I can't do it," "It's too late," "I'm not good enough," remember, that's not you speaking. It's the program. It's the world's voice living in your mind. Observe it without fighting it. You cannot defeat a voice you try to silence, but you can choose it, or let it pass. The mind needs discipline, just as the body needs breath. Those who don't learn to govern it end up serving it. And serving the mind is the quietest form of slavery. Don't believe every thought that crosses your head. Not everything that appears in your mind belongs to you. Many ideas are just passing guests. Decide who gets to stay. One day you'll understand that the mind is a wonderful machine, but the engine should never sit where the driver belongs. Let it serve you, not rule you. Think like someone who wields a sword, sharp, but not always unsheathed. Every time you stop to observe a thought instead of following it, a chain breaks. Every time you breathe instead of reacting, a program shuts down. Freedom begins here, not outside, but inside your mind. Not in changing the world, but in changing the way you see it. When the mind grows quiet, even for a moment, life speaks in its truest voice, silence. And that silence, my children, is the first language of freedom. With love, Dad, silence as strength, the space where reality rewrites itself. There will come a time when you'll feel the urge to respond to everything, to words, to offenses, to injustices. You'll want to explain, convince, defend yourselves. But remember, the strongest voice is not the one that speaks. It's the one that doesn't need to. Silence is not weakness. It is self-mastery. It is the quiet strength of those who refuse to be dragged by other people's emotions. In silence there is no surrender. There is presence. As children, the world will teach you to fill every empty space, to talk even when you have nothing to say, to think even when breathing would be enough. But silence is not absence. It is space. It is what allows thought to take its true form. Only in silence can you hear the voice that belongs to you. Not the world's, not anyone else's, but the one that rises from within. It is subtle, but certain, calm, yet incorruptible. It doesn't push you, it guides you. Silence is like the sea before dawn. From the outside it looks still, but beneath the surface everything is moving, everything is preparing. That's how it is inside you. When you stay quiet, life works silently to put your inner world in order. There will be people who mistake your silence for indifference. Let them. Don't over-explain yourselves. Every time you try to justify who you are, you give away a piece of your freedom. Those who know themselves don't need to convince anyone. Silence will teach you to choose your battles. Not everything deserves a reply. Not everything deserves your energy. Answer only what helps you grow, not what provokes you. When you're angry, be silent. When you're sad, be silent. Not out of fear, but to listen. Beneath anger and sadness, there is always a deeper voice trying to speak to you, and you'll only hear it in silence. The world will urge you to react quickly. Stop. Those who know how to wait rule time. Those who stay silent when everyone else is shouting set the rhythm of life. One day you'll understand that silence is not the opposite of noise. It is its master. Noise confuses. Silence clarifies. And the moment you learn to rest in silence, nothing will control you anymore. Because those who are at peace with themselves no longer need to win. They simply need to be. With love, Dad. Unlearning to understand. Breaking inherited mental patterns. One day, my children, you'll realize that your mind is full of notions, opinions, rules, judgments, full of voices telling you what to think, how to behave, what to fear. And it will seem to you that all of this is knowledge. But real knowledge begins only when you unlearn. As children, you learn by observing. You touch, you fall, you get back up. Then the world arrives and tells you, not like that. And after enough, not like that, you begin to forget your natural intelligence. You become careful, precise, cautious, but also further away from yourselves. Unlearning doesn't mean destroying what you know. It means letting go of what prevents you from seeing. It means wiping away the dust that has settled on the eyes of your soul. The world will tell you that understanding means accumulating, I tell you that understanding means emptying. Emptying out inherited beliefs, fears, and ideas. Only an open space can welcome truth. When something doesn't convince you, don't rush to replace it with a new idea. Stop. Stay in the doubt. Doubt is a crack through which light enters. Don't be in a hurry to fill it. One day you'll realize that many of your certainties are not actually yours. They were placed there, with love or with fear, by those who wanted you safe. But safety is not freedom. And freedom requires the courage to question everything, even what feels sacred. Unlearning means becoming a child again, not in your body, but in your gaze, seeing everything as if for the first time. When you manage that, you'll discover that nothing is truly as you believed, and that behind every form, there's a new meaning waiting to be revealed. Don't be afraid to change your mind. Changing your mind isn't a betrayal of yourself. It's a rediscovery. And the one who has the courage to say, "I don't know," is already freer than the one who pretends to know everything. Unlearning is an act of humility and trust. Humility in recognizing that not everything can be controlled. Trust in knowing that if you let go of what is false, what is true will remain on its own. When you feel confused, don't look for immediate answers. Listen. Clarity comes in silence, not in haste. And every time something inside you dies, remember, it's just space being cleared for a larger truth. Those who unlearn live lightly, and only those who are light can fly. With love, Dad. Self-mastery, discipline, inner order, and will. One day you will grow enough to be able to do anything you want, and it will seem to you that this is freedom. But it isn't. Freedom is not doing everything. It's knowing what not to do. Real strength is not measured by how much you can achieve, but by how much you are able to refuse. Those who can master themselves have no need to master anyone else. Those who cannot become slaves, even of their own freedom. There will come a moment when you feel two voices inside you. One will say, "Follow the impulse," and the other will whisper, "Wait." The first shouts, the second is calm. Listen to the calm one. It is the voice of self-mastery. Self-mastery is not coldness, it is balance. It means feeling every emotion, but not letting any of them lead you. Anger, fear, desire, they can all become energy if you know how to direct them. Fire that burns or fire that illuminates. The difference is in your hand. The world will tell you that discipline is a prison. It isn't. Discipline is a door. Those who open it discover that behind it there is not confinement, but space, order, and quiet power. Train yourselves every day to do something you don't like, not to punish yourselves, but to remind yourselves that you are stronger than your whims. Learn to say no when your body wants the easy path, and yes when your mind invites you toward the difficult one. That is how you build the spine of the soul. Don't confuse calm with weakness. Those who master themselves may appear still, but inside they are a mountain, and a mountain does not have to move to prove its strength. There will be days when life provokes you, people who try to pull you into their chaos, words that ignite the fire of pride. Don't react immediately. Breathe. Every conscious breath is a step back from the cliff's edge. Remember, you're not free when you do whatever you want. You're free when you're not ruled by what you feel. True freedom is not born from rebellion. It is born from the gentle control of oneself. One day, if you look at yourselves with sincerity, you'll understand that the greatest enemy was never outside. It was inside. And when you learn to look at yourselves with love, without yielding and without fleeing, you'll realize that there is no nobler battle than this, becoming sovereign over yourselves. Those who master themselves have no need to win. They have already won. With love, Dad. Calm and courage, twin virtues. There will come a day when everything will feel urgent. Time will rush. People will push you to choose quickly, and the world will make you believe that those who stop lose. But remember, my children, the one who stops understands, and the one who understands chooses better than the one who runs. Calm is not slowness, it is clarity. It is the ability to remain still on the inside, even when everything outside is shaking. A calm person is not cold. They are present. They look, they listen, they breathe, and in that single breath they find the direction others cannot see. Courage is born right there, not in impulse, but in clarity, not in the noise of a fast-beating heart, but in the quiet voice that says, I know this is right, and I'm doing it anyway. There will be moments when you feel fear. Don't chase it away. Fear is a messenger. It shows you what truly matters. Look it in the face, breathe, and move forward. Courage doesn't erase fear. It transforms it. Like wind that pushes the sail instead of tearing it. Being calm doesn't mean feeling nothing. It means choosing when to act and how to act. It is the opposite of weakness. Whoever can stay calm in chaos is like a lighthouse, not loud, but luminous. And even when the waves strike, it remains standing, because its strength comes from within, not from outside. You will discover that the strongest people are not those who raise their voice, but those who know how to remain silent until speaking truly matters. Not those who react immediately, but those who respond only when their response can change something. Calm is the mother of courage. Only the calm can truly decide. Only the calm can be just. And only the calm can be free. When everything around you becomes confusion, don't seek refuge in noise. Seek it in silence. Breathe. Count to 10, then to 100 if needed. The time you take to breathe is the time in which you reclaim yourself. Remember, calm saves you from your mistakes. Courage saves you from your fears. Together, they lead you to where truth is waiting. And if one day you don't know which virtue to choose, choose both. Calm to see, courage to act. With love, Dad. Truth as discipline, honesty with oneself. There will come a time when you realize that lying is easy, not just to others, but especially to yourselves. You'll convince yourselves that you're fine when you're not, that you're right when you're only afraid, that it's better to stay silent so as not to hurt someone when, in truth, you're silent because you're afraid of losing something. Don't judge yourselves for this. Every human being walks through the territory of lies. It's how we learn their weight. A lie doesn't fall like a stone. It grows inside, slowly, until one day you notice you're walking bent without knowing why. Truth, on the other hand, frees you, but it has a cost. It is not given to everyone. It is a discipline, not an emotion. It requires training, like a muscle. Every time you choose to be sincere, even when it hurts, you become stronger, clearer, more real. Being honest doesn't mean telling everything to everyone. It means not lying to yourselves. It means looking at who you are, even when you don't like what you see, and not running away, because those who flee from themselves remain lost forever. The world will push you to be flexible, to change your view out of convenience, to smile while saying things you don't believe. Don't give in. Better an uncomfortable truth than a comfortable lie. Better a clean wound than a hidden infection. Truth is a blade that cuts, but it cuts only what is false. It leaves everything real untouched, and the more you use it, the more you'll discover that truth doesn't destroy, it clarifies. Train yourselves to tell it first to yourselves. Observe your mistakes without excusing them. Acknowledge your fears without denying them. Only those who know their own shadow can recognize their own light. Don't chase perfection. Chase coherence, because a coherent man, even when he falls, gets back up straight. An incoherent man may remain standing, but he stands crooked. And remember, truth will not always make you happy, but it will always make you free. And freedom, even when it hurts, is the only thing worth paying for. With love, Dad. The body as an antenna. Energy follows attention. There are truths the mind cannot explain, but the body feels them. A weight on the chest, a short breath, a knot in the stomach. They're all messages. The body speaks before thought, but almost no one listens anymore. In the world you'll enter, everything will push you toward distraction. Screens, noise, notifications, the endless rush. And the more you disconnect from yourselves, the more it will seem like you're living, when, in reality, you're only reacting. The body, instead, is your connection to reality. It is the antenna that tells you when something is true and when it isn't. When you meet a sincere person, you'll feel it in your breath. You relax without knowing why. When someone lies, the body stiffens. Not because it judges, but because it senses that the energy is off. Learn to trust that sensation. It isn't blind instinct. It's deep intelligence. The mind can lie, the body cannot. It can get sick, collapse, even shut down, but it cannot pretend. Every time you force it to do what it doesn't feel, it sends you a signal. Pain, insomnia, fatigue with no clear explanation. It doesn't punish, it warns. When you are in doubt, listen, not to opinions but to the body. If something tightens inside you, stop. If something opens, continue. It's simple, but it takes courage, because the body often tells you the truth the mind doesn't want to hear. Treat your body with respect. Don't use it as a tool. Treat it as an ally. Give it silence, movement, clean air. Let it breathe, tire itself, rest. Every time you take care of your body, you're also taking care of your mind. The body is not inferior to the spirit. It is its extension, the way the soul touches the world. Those who listen to their body live grounded and light at the same time, like a tree with its roots in the earth and its crown in the sky. One day you'll realize that the body is also a moral compass. If you do something that isn't right, it closes. If you follow the truth, it opens. And in that opening there is a peace no word can give. Listen to yourselves, always. Don't let the noise of the world drown out the quiet voice living inside you. Because that voice, the most discreet, the most sincere, is your direction. With love, Dad. Mistakes as teachers, humility as the path to freedom. One day you will make a mistake, maybe more than one, and it will feel as if everything is falling apart. Your heart will hurt, your mind will accuse you, and you'll think you've disappointed the people who love you. But don't be afraid of mistakes. A mistake is a teacher in disguise. It teaches without using words. It explains by showing consequences. It is strict, but fair. It doesn't humiliate. It reveals. Those who never make mistakes never learn. Those who don't learn remain still. And staying still, in life, is the most subtle form of death. They will tell you that you must avoid mistakes, that perfection is the measure of your worth. Don't believe it. Perfection is a cage, and those who chase it stop living out of fear of falling. Each time you make a mistake, stop and breathe. Don't look for excuses. Don't look for someone to blame. Look at what happened the way you look at a field after a storm. Something has been destroyed, yes, but the soil is more fertile than before. Mistakes show you where you are still asleep, where you react instead of choosing, where you try to control instead of understanding. And every time you recognize a mistake, a part of you becomes freer. Don't be afraid to apologize. It isn't weakness, it's intelligence of the heart. Anyone who apologizes is not submitting. They are realigning themselves with truth. And truth, when acknowledged, never punishes. It heals. There will be mistakes that cost you time, love, money. Others will leave invisible scars. But none of them will be useless as long as you walk through them with honesty. What matters is not repeating them without understanding them. Remember, those who judge mistakes remain trapped in pride. Those who welcome them enter wisdom. And wisdom is never perfect. It is a mosaic of falls and risings. One day when you see someone else make a mistake, don't laugh at them. Don't judge them. Offering your hand will be like offering it to yourself, because we all walk the same path made of stumbles and light. Don't try to be infallible. Try to be true. The person who is not afraid of making mistakes is the only one who can truly change. With love, Dad. The return to the center. A lucid mind as the source of personal reality. One day you will feel tired, not in your body but in your soul. You'll have chased too many thoughts, too many people, too many results, and it will seem as if you've lost yourself along the way. That is when you'll understand that you don't need to move forward. You need to return to the center. The center is not a place. It is a condition. It is that point within you that never changes, even when everything else collapses. It is the home you carry everywhere, even when you forget it exists. We live in a world that constantly pushes you outward, away from yourselves, away from silence, away from balance. They will teach you to seek happiness in things, truth in others, peace in tomorrow. But everything you are searching for is already here, hidden in the calm you've forgotten. Returning to the center means stopping the chase. It means sitting down, breathing, and listening. not to the noise of the mind, but to the deeper voice, the one that doesn't ask, doesn't demand, doesn't fear. That voice is your compass. That voice is God, not as an idea, but as a quiet presence. Whenever you feel angry, confused, or anxious, remember to go back there. You don't need a special place. Just close your eyes and breathe until your thoughts slow down. The mind is a frightened animal. If you look at it gently, it calms itself. From the center, everything becomes clear. Things don't stop happening, but they stop overwhelming you. The world stays the same, but you become different. Present, lucid, calm. The center is like the deep sea. Above are the waves. Below reigns silence. Those who live on the surface are at the mercy of the winds. Those who descend into the depths find a peace no storm can touch. Do not look for peace by running away. You don't need to escape the world. You need to learn to stay in it without losing yourselves. And to do that, you must return inward every time life pulls you outward. When you no longer know what to do nothing. Breathe, because breath is the bridge between body and soul, between time and eternity. Every conscious breath is a return home. And remember, the center is not a refuge, it is a starting point. From there you can see everything without fear, choose with calm, act with clarity. Those who live from the center do not react, they create, and those who create are free. Return to yourselves every time the world distracts you. Return to silence every time noise confuses you. Return to your breath every time your mind runs, because only those who know how to return home within themselves can truly walk freely through the world. With love, Dad. Part 3. The Light. Building real freedom in everyday life. You have learned to see the shadows and to recognize the fire burning within you. Now you must learn to carry that light into the world. Freedom is not a spiritual idea. It is a concrete, daily practice. It is measured in the way you live, in the choices you make, in what you build. The world will try to pull you back into the race, but your strength will lie in the rhythm you choose. Every act, even the smallest one, can become an act of resistance if it is born from awareness. This part of the book is no longer about thoughts, but about actions, about how to live within the system without belonging to it, how to work without becoming a slave, how to educate without conditioning, how to love without possessing. Light is not proclaimed, it is embodied. And those who embody it no longer need to fight the darkness, because darkness loses its power in the presence of clarity. Remember, truth is not meant to help you escape the world. It is meant to transform it. And transformation begins at home, with your family, your work, and the time you choose to devote to what truly matters. Now that you know how to see, it is time to build. The sovereign family, your union is your first field of strength. I watch you sleep, and I understand that freedom is not an idea. It is a duty. My first responsibility is not to change the world, but to build a refuge where you can grow without fear. That is the family. A small kingdom, a sovereign community that answers not to power, but to truth. The world will tell you that family is a limitation, that it is better to be independent, that love is a contract and not an alliance. They will tell you that belonging to someone means losing yourself. But the opposite is true. Only those who know how to belong can ever be free. A united family is the first form of resistance against the system, because the system cannot control what is bound together by love. It can tax, monitor, manipulate, but it cannot enter the place where people look into each other's eyes and trust. Being a sovereign family does not mean living in isolation. It means choosing together. It means building an economy, a rhythm, a vision that do not depend on the world's mood. It means knowing that even if everything outside changes, inside your home a higher order remains, the order of love and truth. Family is the first enterprise, the first school, the first form of government. It is where you learn the value of time, of sacrifice, of forgiveness. It is where faith in life is transmitted, not as religion, but as a deep trust in the meaning of what you do. When you grow up and build families of your own, don't ask whether the world will understand you. Ask whether your foundation will be strong, because a home built on love withstands even the greatest storms. Defend your home not only from difficulties, but from what weakens it from within. Indifference, fatigue, disorder. Don't let routine kill gratitude. Every day give thanks for food, for warmth, for peace. Every time you look at one another, remember that you are living proof that another civilization is possible. A civilization built on trust, respect, and service, not competition. Family is the first school of freedom because it is the place where you learn to serve without being a slave and to love without possessing. There is no real freedom that does not pass through family. Those who cannot love can never be free. And remember this, it doesn't matter how big the world is. If peace reigns inside your home, you have already won the war. With love, Dad. Education and truth. Homeschooling to think at home, think together. When you're old enough to understand, I will tell you that the school of the world is not the only way to learn, and that sometimes to remain free, you must learn outside the world. That is why your school will be here, among the books we choose together, among the earth, the sea, your hands, your questions, your mistakes, and real life. No institution can teach you better than reality itself, and no teacher will ever know you better than someone who truly loves you. Education is not meant to make you good. It is meant to make you free. I will not teach you what to think, but how to look, how to listen, how to recognize truth. Because truth is not received. It is discovered. And once discovered, you will never forget it. We will study what helps you understand the world, but also what helps you understand its soul, history and thought, but also silence, music, nature, art. You will learn that everything, if observed with attention, has something to teach. And that curiosity is the purest form of intelligence. I want you to learn how to ask questions, not how to seek approval, because those who ask sincerely grow, and those who stop asking stop living. Questions are the language of freedom. Here at home there will be no grades and no rankings. There will be time. Time to understand, to make mistakes, to change your mind, even to go backwards if needed. Real education has no deadlines. It is a path, and every step matters. I will teach you that authority is not the one who has power, but the one who lives what he teaches. That coherence matters more than any method. We will learn together, because I too continue to learn every day. No parent knows everything, but a father and mother who seek truth with their children create the most powerful school that exists. One day the world will demand a title, a certificate, a proof, and you will smile, because your competence won't be written on paper, but in your hands, your mind, and your eyes. And those who know how to build, understand, listen, and create have nothing to prove. Homeschooling will not be an escape, it will be a return to the joy of learning to understand, not to please. A return to the natural rhythm of the mind, which learns best when it is calm, and to the value of silence, where ideas take shape. Education is an act of love, and love, when it is true, teaches freedom, not to believe, but to see, not to repeat, but to create, not to serve the system, but to serve truth. With love, Dad. The economy of time, time as the only true currency. One day, my children, you will realize that time is the only currency you cannot earn twice. It is the only wealth that, once spent, never returns. The world will talk to you about money, careers, income, but no one will teach you the value of your time, because whoever controls your time controls your life. A free person is not the one who has the most money. It is the one who decides how to use their hours. Those who sacrifice their time to buy things they don't need become poor, even with a full bank account. But those who live in harmony with what they love, even with little, possess everything. I'm not telling you that money doesn't matter. It does. But it must remain a tool, not a goal. Money exists to protect your time, not replace it. It exists to build spaces of freedom, not to buy new obligations. As you grow, the world will try to convince you that life is a race. The more you do, the more you're worth. But remember, those who are always running never arrive anywhere. They move, but they don't live. Don't fall into that trap. Calm, not speed, is the secret of strength. Time is not just hours and minutes. It is the substance of life. Whatever you give your time to, your attention, your breath, becomes part of you. That is why you must choose carefully where you place it, with those who truly listen, with what builds, with what helps you grow, with what makes you real. Learn to defend your hours as you would defend your home. Don't allow anyone to buy them with promises or guilt. And remember, shared time is never wasted. Sitting together, talking, watching the sea, listening to the wind. These are investments no bank can measure. When you are adults, you will measure your freedom by the number of choices you can make in a day. If every hour belongs to someone else, you are not free, even if you earn well. But if you can choose how to spend your time, you are rich, even if you have nothing. We will build a life in which time is not a slave to work, but a tool for serving what we love. We will work to create, not to rush. We will earn to live, not live to earn. Every morning when you wake up, ask yourselves, am I using my time to move closer to truth or farther from it? The answer to that question will tell you everything. Remember, the time you give to what you love is never lost. It is life multiplied. And those who know how to govern their time will never need masters. With love, Dad. Work as creation. Value, not hours, is what you produce. One day people will ask you what you want to be when you grow up. And you might think of a profession, a doctor, a lawyer, a cook, an electrician, a mechanic, an entrepreneur. But the point is not the profession, it's how you choose to live it. You see, not everyone works in the same way. Some work to survive, others work to build freedom. Some sell their time, others multiply it. Some work for a system, others learn to build one of their own. The difference isn't talent or luck, it's mindset. The world will teach you to work for someone. It will offer you a salary, a sense of certainty, a pension. They'll tell you that this is the safest way to live. But it is a fragile safety, one that can disappear in a day. When you work for others, you may earn well, but you will never be truly free, because your time doesn't belong to you. And whoever doesn't control their time, doesn't control their life. Others will try to work on their own. They'll open an office, a workshop, a restaurant, a small business. It will look like freedom, but often it's just another kind of prison. They'll earn more but work twice as much, and they'll discover that the system controls them in other ways, through taxes, rules, and the fear of stopping. Understand this clearly. Taxes are not just a way to fund the state. They are tools of direction. They are meant to push people toward certain behaviors and discourage others. They are psychological levers, incentives dressed as duties. Employees and self-employed workers are the pillars of the system, and for that reason, the most heavily taxed. It's as if they are rewarded for obedience with the permission to work, and punished with losing half the fruit of their labor. Not because it's fair, but because that's how the system maintains its order. It needs people who keep the machine running, not people who change it. And fiscal pressure is the lever that ensures that. They'll make you believe taxes pay for roads, schools, hospitals, but if you look closely, you'll see that much of that money never truly returns to the people. It serves to maintain the illusion and keep alive a structure that needs continuity more than justice. I'm not telling you to reject the system. I'm telling you to understand it so you don't become its slave, because the world doesn't change through blind rebellion, but through the silent intelligence of those who know where to place their steps. Take a doctor, for example. He can choose to remain employed at a hospital, where he has security but no freedom, or open his own practice, where he earns more but works non-stop. Or he can build a clinic, a center, a system that works even without him, where time multiplies and freedom grows. A cook can choose to stay in the kitchen forever, or teach, create a brand, write books, open schools, and train other chefs. A mechanic can open more shops. A lawyer can build a network of professionals. An electrician can automate his business. Anyone can do it, but few actually do because few think beyond their job title. Remember, jobs, titles, professions are like t-shirts. If today you wear a red t-shirt and tomorrow a blue one, are you a different person? No, you are the same. The t-shirt changes according to the weather, the place, the moment. Work should be the same, a tool that adapts, not a label that defines you. It doesn't matter what you do. What matters is whether that work brings you freedom. Someone who sells cement doesn't sleep cuddling a bag of cement as if it were a teddy bear. They don't love it so much that they want to stroke it at night. You don't need to fall in love with the product you sell or the profession you practice. You need to understand why you do it, who it serves, and how it brings you closer to freedom. Value isn't in the object. It's in the freedom it allows you to have. The right work isn't the one you love like a person. It's the one that gives you time, serenity, and independence to love real people. I'm not telling you to abandon your talents or passions. On the contrary, cultivate them. Use them as leverage, as advantages, but always look at them with clarity. Work is a means, not a purpose. A title is not an identity. You are not a doctor, a lawyer, an artist. You are you. And you can shape your life into 1,000 forms across different seasons without ever ceasing to be yourself. Those who identify with their profession die every time that profession ends. Those who identify with freedom always find a new way to live. The secret is not to work more. It's to understand how money works, how time works, how incentives work. Every country uses them differently, but the logic is always the same. Those who stay in the system are rewarded with the appearance of safety. Those who step outside must learn to navigate on their own. And it will be your task to choose where and how to live, under which fiscal conditions, with which mindset, because the world will not grant you freedom out of kindness. You must earn it with clarity. Taxes, rules, social habits, they all push you toward certain choices. It is up to you to decide whether you want to be directed or self-directed. There are no perfect countries. There are countries that punish value creators more and countries that reward them a bit more. But ultimately, wherever you go, the real difference will be in your mind. A free man stays free even in a difficult country. A slave stays a slave even in a tax haven. My task is to teach you this. Don't chase a job. Build a system of freedom. Learn to think like builders, not executors. Learn to read the rules, not just follow them. And when you understand the game, don't play it against others. Play it better, with intelligence and ethics. Work is not sacrifice. Work is creation. And to create, my children, means choosing every day to build your life with your own hands. Not to become rich, but to remain unbuyable. With love, Dad, money and freedom. Money as the key to choosing. Money is not the goal. It is the tool that allows you not to obey those who do not respect truth. It is what enables you to choose, and choosing is at the heart of freedom. One day they will tell you that money is evil, that it doesn't bring happiness, that health is what really matters. Yes, but remember this. Health, truth, family, everything is defended more effectively when you are free. And freedom, my children, requires means. Money protects your time. It allows you to say no when the world forces a yes upon you. It allows you to move if necessary, to defend yourselves, your children, and your dignity. Those who lack means must accept everything. Those who have autonomy can choose. We live in an unstable world. We have already seen wars, pandemics, health passes, restrictions, borders closing, laws written overnight, and rights erased with a decree. These are not stories. They happened, and they will happen again. That is why you must place yourselves in a position to move. I am not telling you to be nomads. I am telling you to be ready. A free man does not belong to one place. He belongs to truth, and follows it wherever it can exist. Build your life with this in mind. Choose professions, activities, investments that allow you to move if one day the rules change and freedom disappears. You must be able to move yourselves, your assets, and your family. Having a plan B is not fear. It is wisdom. Those who think these things won't happen again have understood nothing about history. They will tell you that certain things are mandatory, but remember, it depends. Laws, like systems, are written vaguely. And wherever there is vagueness, there is freedom of maneuver. The system always leaves openings, but only those who know the rules can see them. For example, two entrepreneurs perform the same operation. One goes to the village accountant who says, "You can't. The law doesn't allow it." The other goes to a major firm and they say, "You can do it. You just need to know how." That is the difference. Those who understand the code dominate the game. This is why wealthy people pay more for accountants, because they save them money, legally. They know the system's gaps better than those who suffer them. The same applies to everything: healthcare, education, work, taxes. Those who know the law do not fear it. Don't believe those who say taxes fund the state. They serve rather to direct behavior. In the more virtuous countries, governments reward those who create value, those who build homes, produce energy, innovate, create jobs, because they know entrepreneurs do the work the state cannot do well, turning ideas into reality. An intelligent state does not compete with producers, it supports them. It creates incentives, benefits, and freedom of movement. Thus, those who work feel appreciated, not exploited. In other countries, those who build are punished, and those who destroy are assisted. In both cases, taxes reveal how a government thinks. They are incentives disguised as rules, and those who understand them can choose where to live and how to act. They will tell you, it's the law, the protocol requires it, it's mandatory, you can't avoid it. But remember this, if the penalty is only financial, it is a law written for the poor. Those who can afford the fine never suffer the obligation. And those who are economically independent never have to choose between freedom and survival. I am not teaching you to disobey. On the contrary, be model citizens, correct, respectful, proud to contribute and to live honestly. But never be blind. Be citizens who read reality for what it is, not for how it is narrated. Be men who know both the boundaries and the side roads. Living this way does not make you outlaws. It makes you free men who know how to move within the law. I am not teaching you to deceive the system. I am teaching you to understand it. Because those who understand the rules can play without being crushed. And in a world where everything is negotiable, knowledge is the only true defense. Economic freedom is the sister of spiritual freedom. One lives in the mind, the other in the numbers. One teaches you who you are, the other teaches you how far you can go. Without one, the other falters. Build wealth not to appear strong, but to afford truth. To be able to say no when everyone says yes. To stand firm when the world bends. To live according to conscience, not fear. Money, in the end, is not power. It is autonomy. And those who are autonomous can choose, move, remain whole. And integrity, my children, is the only inheritance I truly want to leave you. With love, Dad. Communicating and selling with truth. Language as a bridge between value and freedom. In life, everything is communication. Every gesture, every word, every silence. And inside every act of communication, there is always a form of selling. Selling doesn't mean exchanging money. It means transmitting a vision. Every time you convince someone of something, you are selling. An idea, a choice, a value, a part of yourself. The ability to communicate and sell with truth will ensure your success in everything you do. Because in life, everything is a negotiation. Convincing a woman to marry you, convincing a friend to trust you, convincing a child to eat a good steak instead of junk food, convincing yourself not to give up when everything feels difficult. Every day you will sell something, and the quality of your life will depend on how well you can do it with integrity and intelligence. Many think that selling means manipulating. It does not. Manipulation is bending someone else to your will. Selling with truth is serving the other person by helping them choose what is best for themselves. It is the highest form of communication because it is born from listening. Selling is not talking more, it is listening better. It is not filling the other with words, but emptying yourself of prejudice so you can truly understand them. People don't buy when they understand you. They buy when they feel you have understood them. That is why the first secret of communication is listening. Listening with attention, with curiosity, with empathy. Not to reply, but to understand. Because the one who listens leads the conversation. The one who talks too much loses it. School teaches how to answer, but not how to ask questions. And yet, in life, the person who asks the right questions guides the dialogue. Questions open doors, answers close them. When you speak with someone, don't rush to explain. Ask, observe, let the other speak. This way you will understand what they truly need. And you won't need to convince them anymore. You'll simply show that you listened. Handling objections is like playing chess. You don't have to improvise every time. Thousands of matches have already been played before you. Every, I don't have time, I don't have money, I need to think about it, has a possible answer. You don't need to invent it. You need to know it and adapt it calmly. When someone says I can't, it often means I'm not sure. When they say I'm not interested, it often means I didn't understand. Objections are not walls. They are signals. They show you where the other person has fear or doubt. Don't defend yourself. Move forward with a question, with a smile, with patience. Like a good chess player, learn to recognize the moves before they appear. Today you have an advantage no generation ever had. Access to information. Everything you need to know has already been written, explained, shared. Courses, books, videos, examples. They're all there, within reach. Never say, I don't know, or I can't. Always ask, how can I? Because every time you change the question, you change your mind. Whoever says I can't gives up. Whoever asks, how can I, begins creating solutions. Never stop learning. Never believe you already know everything. Communication is a living science, constantly evolving. Every person you meet is a new world to explore. And the more you learn to listen, observe, and read nuances, the more you will discover that the true art of selling is the art of understanding human beings. Don't speak to sound intelligent, speak to be understood. Don't use complicated words to gain respect. Use the right words to gain trust. Those who communicate well don't need to shout. People don't buy what they don't understand, and they don't trust those who don't listen. Trust is the most precious currency in the world. It takes years to earn and a moment to lose. Those who lie to sell win today and lose tomorrow. Those who tell the truth may sell less at first, but they build a reputation that lasts a lifetime. People don't buy products, they buy trust. They don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Don't look for clients, look for allies. Don't look for numbers, look for relationships. Those who work for numbers build charts. Those who work for people build the future. And remember, even those who create sell. Because an idea, a project, a dream, if it doesn't reach someone, remains invisible. Creation without communication is a song without sound. It does not exist. Learn to speak with love, to sell with honesty, to communicate with responsibility. Every word is a seed. Plant it well, and it will grow in the right heart. One day you will realize that everything you have built will not be the result of your hands alone, but of your ability to transmit your vision to others. And you will understand that communication is not a technical act. It is a spiritual one. Those who communicate with truth do not sell. They serve. They serve life. They serve others. They serve truth. With love, Dad. Love and discipline, the couple as a strategic and spiritual alliance. Love on its own is not enough. It is the greatest force in the world, but without direction it scatters, like a river that overflows and no longer finds the sea. That is why love needs discipline, and discipline, when guided by love, is never a cage. It is a course. The world will tell you that freedom means doing whatever you want. I tell you that freedom means knowing how to govern what you feel. A free person is not the one who follows every impulse, but the one who knows their limits and uses them to become stronger. Discipline does not extinguish the fire, it directs it. Fire without form burns. Fire guided with intention illuminates and warms. Being disciplined does not mean being rigid, it means being consistent. It means saying no to yourself when it's right, and yes, when it requires effort. It is the opposite of slavery. It is how you take ownership of your own life. A man who cannot impose rules on himself is always in someone else's hands, his desires, his habits, other people's judgments. Many confuse discipline with coldness, but discipline does not kill love. It protects it. Love without boundaries suffocates. Rules without love destroy. The secret is balance. A child loved without limits grows fragile. A child disciplined without love grows hard. Only those who receive both, warmth and boundaries, learn to be steady and good at the same time. Within you, in your mind and heart, two voices must coexist, one that feels and one that guides. Love will tell you, follow what you feel. Discipline will tell you, don't forget who you are. If you learn to make those voices speak to each other, you will never lose your way. Discipline is not against freedom. It creates it. Everything that will give you freedom, playing an instrument, building a business, raising a child, will be born from constant repetition, silent effort, and an accepted rule. Consistency is the language of excellence, and those who speak it become masters of time. In life you will meet people who say discipline is boring, but boredom belongs only to those who have no purpose. Those who love what they do find joy even in the effort. Discipline does not drain color from dreams. It makes them real. Without it, love becomes a feeling that fades. With it, love becomes a structure that endures. Remember, freedom is not conquered once and for all. It must be defended every day, in small choices, in schedules, in words. Discipline does not make us perfect. It makes us present. It reminds us that life is short, and every moment deserves to be honored. I wish for you to love with all your heart, but also to guide yourselves with firmness, because those who know how to hold sweetness and strength together become a lighthouse for themselves and for those they love. And a lighthouse does not shout, does not run, does not change direction with every storm. It stays lit, always. With love, Dad. Raising strength, raising free children, not fragile ones. When I watch you grow, I realize that my task is not to protect you from the world, but to prepare you to face it, because the world will not always be kind, and it is not my duty to remove every obstacle from your path, but to teach you to become strong enough to overcome them. Strength is not hardness. True strength is presence. It is the calm of someone who chooses to stay even when he is afraid. It is not shouting louder than others, but knowing how to stay silent when silence is needed. It is not winning every time, but never stopping the attempt. Many confuse strength with anger, but they are opposites. Anger comes from fear. Strength comes from clarity. Those who are strong do not react instinctively. They respond lucidly. They know when it is time to act and when it is time to wait. They know that silence is sometimes more powerful than 1,000 words. Being strong does not mean never falling. It means knowing how to fall well. Falling without breaking, rising without complaining. Every fall teaches more than 100 victories, if you have the courage to look it in the eye. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are your most faithful coach. Every time you stand back up, you become a little bigger, a little truer, a little freer. One day you may ask me, Dad, how does one become strong? And I will answer, by staying faithful to what is right, even when it costs you. Strength does not grow on easy days. It is built on the days when no one sees you, when you feel alone, when you must choose between what is comfortable and what is true. Don't try to be invincible. Try to be incorruptible. A man can lose everything, his job, his home, even his health. But if he does not lose his dignity, he remains rich. Dignity is the highest form of strength. Whoever has learned to say no when everyone else says yes has already won. Being strong does not mean never asking for help. It means knowing how to ask for it. A weak person hides their fragility. A strong person acknowledges it and uses it to grow. True strength does not isolate. It connects. It is made of courage, but also of tenderness. A strong man or woman does not need to dominate, but to inspire. Remember that strength is taught by example, not by words. A father who does not complain teaches more than 1,000 sermons. A mother who faces hardship with grace teaches more than 1,000 speeches. Children do not learn by listening to us. They learn by watching us. I wish for you a serene strength, not a fierce one. A strength that protects without hurting, that builds without destroying. A strength that makes you solid but not rigid, courageous but not reckless. Because the world does not belong to the strongest. It belongs to those who remain standing with both heart and mind united. With love, Dad. Community and networks of value. Networks are human aqueducts. Seek men and women with a wide vision, people who build instead of complain, people with the courage to speak the truth even when it is uncomfortable. Stay away from those who live on conflict, envy, or resentment. Destructive people are not to be fought. They are to be left behind. Every healthy community stands on one thing: trust. Trust cannot be bought. It is built over time, through consistency, through kept promises, through example. Surround yourselves with those who do what they say, who respect other people's time, who don't ask without giving. A network like this will be your greatest wealth, far greater than money or talent, because when the world changes, and it will, the strength will not lie in the individual, but in the group of free people who help each other. No enterprise, no project, no revolution is ever born from one person alone. It is always born from an encounter, an alliance, a we formed between lucid individuals. That is why you must learn to collaborate, to share, to combine your skills with those of others, not to depend, but to multiply. One day you will realize that the world is divided into two kinds of people, those who close doors and those who build bridges. Become bridge builders. You don't have to like the person in front of you. Respect is enough. Respect is the foundation of every functioning network. Seek friends who correct you, not those who flatter you. People who push you forward, not those who hold you back so they can feel superior. Real friendship is not the one that makes you comfortable. It is the one that makes you grow. And remember, the network you are part of should not only give you something, it should also ask something of you. Every healthy relationship is reciprocal. Don't build connections based on interest, but on the exchange of value, knowledge, and trust. In life, giving always comes before receiving, and those who learn to give without calculation will receive more than they ever asked for. Don't be afraid to share your ideas. Those who fear being copied have not yet built anything great. Share intelligently. The more you sow, the more your influence grows, and the more honest people you attract. Networks of value form through resonance. You attract what you are, not what you claim to be. Finally, don't look for a perfect community. It doesn't exist. Look for a living one, made of different people, aligned in the same direction. A network of free minds, honest hearts, and hands ready to build. Because real strength does not lie in the individual who dominates, but in the community that rises together. Personal freedom is the first step. Shared freedom is the destination. And when you find men and women who walk beside you with this same awareness, you will no longer be afraid of anything. With love, Dad. The home as a productive center. The home as an ecosystem of sovereignty. Home is not just the place where you sleep. It's where your world is formed. It is your first school, your first enterprise, your first laboratory of freedom. Don't let it become just a container of objects or a place to rest. Make it an operational base, a productive center from which your ideas, your projects, and your growth begin. We live in a time where many people flee their homes to work and return only to collapse into bed. But home is not the point of arrival. It is the point of departure. Every true form of economic, intellectual, and spiritual independence begins there. If you build a home where people study, create, learn, and produce, you will never be slaves to any system, because your center will be autonomous. A living home is a home that generates ideas, knowledge, tools, value. It is the place where you learn to cook instead of ordering, to repair instead of throwing away, to think instead of submitting. Every conscious gesture made inside your home is a political act. It tells the world, I can take care of myself. I don't need to depend on you for everything. Learn to work from home, to create from home, to study and teach from home, not because the world is dangerous, but because the world is fragile, and only those with a stable base can navigate it peacefully. In uncertain times, those with a productive home live in abundance even when everything around them shakes. Think of your home as a small ecosystem. It can produce energy, knowledge, relationships, art, food. It can be the headquarters of a business, a family project, a creative or digital laboratory. It can become the center of your economic independence if you learn to turn what you know into value. In today's world, knowledge is the new land. Those who cultivate it, harvest. Don't wait for someone to give you a job. Build a home that creates work. A family that collaborates, studies together, invents together. A home where every room serves a purpose, an idea, a project, a skill, a dream. A home that produces music, content, objects, products, services, knowledge. So while others run outside searching for opportunities, you will already have them within. The home must also teach order and beauty, not to impress, but to create harmony. A cared-for space generates clear thoughts, and clear thoughts generate decisive action. You don't need luxury or size, just light, silence, and a sense of peace. Wealth is not having more, but doing more with what you have. When I tell you to transform your home into a productive center, I don't mean only economically. I mean educationally, spiritually, relationally. Every conversation born within those walls, every book read, every experiment tried with curiosity, every meal prepared with love is production. It is true wealth, the kind that cannot be measured in money, but in autonomy. One day you will realize that the home you built together, full of tools, books, plants, projects, dreams, has become your own little state, a free, self-sufficient, resilient place, a miniature community capable of enduring any crisis because it has everything it needs: knowledge, cooperation, and love. Those who know how to live in such a home fear no future because they don't wait for change, they create it every day. With love, Dad. Part 4. The Sea. Living outside the world without fleeing from the world. You have learned to see the shadows, to understand the fire, and to build the light. Now comes the most difficult moment, living in the world without belonging to it. The sea is real life. It has no borders, no certainties, no straight lines. It is made of waves, storms, and currents that change direction. Those who never learn to navigate are afraid. Those who learn to listen let themselves be carried. In the sea, you learn that you don't need to fight everything. You need to understand where to go and use the wind to your advantage. Life is the same. You don't win by challenging every wave, but by learning to read the rhythm of the water. The world will invite you to run away, to close yourselves off, to protect yourselves from everything unpredictable. But true freedom is not retreat. It is moving with awareness. You don't need to disappear from the world. You only need to learn to live in it with both detachment and presence. Your feet in the sea, your gaze in the sky. In this final part, I will talk to you about how to remain steady in calm, how to use technology without being captured by it, how beauty can become a form of resistance, how leadership is an act of service, and how, in the end, every father must learn to let his child walk alone. The sea is the last teacher. It teaches the most difficult lesson of all: to live fully, without attachment, not to lose yourself in the wave, but not to fear it either, not to cling to the shore, but not to forget where you came from. And when you understand this, you will no longer need maps, because the sea, like life, is not meant to be controlled. It is meant to be listened to, the return to reality, seeing things as they are. There will come a moment when you realize that everything you have learned, thought, discipline, strength, freedom, serves one purpose: to see reality as it is. Not as you wish it were, not as it was told to you, but as it truly appears. Reality doesn't need to be interpreted. It needs to be seen. Yet almost no one does this. Most people see only what they desire or what they fear. The rest they ignore. It's more comfortable, because truly seeing means stopping the lies we tell ourselves. Seeing things as they are is not an act of intelligence, but of courage. It takes courage to accept that the world will never be perfect. It takes courage to admit that we cannot control everything. It takes courage to keep loving despite disappointment and to remain calm even when justice arrives late. You will discover that truth doesn't shout, it whispers. And those without the patience to listen remain trapped in noise. Learn to see without judging, to listen without reacting. Reaction is the child of the ego. Understanding is the child of reality. Those who react lose clarity. Those who observe become free. Many will tell you that living in reality is sad, that it's better to dream. But a dream with no roots in truth is a deception. Dream, yes, but with your eyes open. The true dream is not escaping reality. It is transforming it. Look at things in their wholeness. Every person has a bright side and a shadow. Every event carries a lesson. Every failure contains a seed of growth. Those who see only the good become naive. Those who see only the bad become cynical. But those who accept both and hold them together without being pulled become wise. When you learn to see reality with balance, you will understand that peace does not come from control, but from acceptance. Not from being right, but from understanding. Not from winning, but from not being dragged by the tide. Whoever accepts what is, without stopping the work toward what must be, has found the highest form of freedom. There is no need to hide behind grand words. Truth is simple. Things are what they are. Pain is pain. Joy is joy. Life is mystery. Those who can look at these without filters, without interpretations, have already won the greatest battle, the battle against illusion. Train yourselves every day to look with new eyes. A sunset, an argument, a failure, a hug. Everything speaks if you are willing to listen. Don't rush to judge, interpret, or react. Just see, and in the silence that follows that seeing, you will find the peace no ideology will ever give you. Seeing reality as it is does not mean giving up. It means beginning to live for real. With love, Dad, the silent truth, calm as power. Truth does not need to defend itself. It doesn't impose, shout, or argue. It stands still, like the sea after a storm. Those who are at peace with truth have no need to convince anyone. The modern world will push you to react to everything. It will tell you that you must answer immediately, reply, comment, speak your mind. It will make you believe that silence is weakness, that calm is indifference. Don't believe it. Silence is not surrender. It is mastery. Those who stay silent not out of fear but out of understanding have already won. Calm is the highest form of intelligence. It is what allows you to see things without distorting them. Only those who are calm can understand, choose, and decide with clarity. Anger, haste, anxiety, they all make noise, and where there is noise, truth cannot be heard. But in calm, everything reveals itself in its clearest form. Being calm does not mean feeling no emotion. It means feeling all of them, but not being led by any. It is like being at the helm in the middle of a storm. The waves are still there, but you remain at the wheel. Those who panic sink. Those who stay steady pass through. You will learn that calm is a choice. It does not arrive on its own. It is built through discipline and awareness. Every time you breathe instead of react, observe instead of judge, respond with measure instead of impulse, you become stronger. A man who can stay calm has more power than 100 men who shout. The world belongs to those who know how to wait. Not the impulsive, but the patient. Those who know how to wait do not lose time. They govern it. Calm allows you to see what others overlook, to hear what others drown in noise. In silence we learn more than 1,000 words could ever teach. Do not fear silence. Cultivate it. Make space within yourselves. Every now and then, turn everything off. Phones, noise, distractions, and stay alone with your thoughts. In today's world, those who can remain alone without going mad have a tremendous advantage, because while others constantly chase stimulation, you will find clarity. And clarity is power. You don't need to have the last word. Let actions, not your voice, speak for you. People who know how to stay quiet are not lacking arguments. They are lacking time to waste. Calm is the shield of the strong. Don't let yourselves be dragged into someone else's confusion. Protect your balance the way you protect a flame from the wind. When truth lives inside you, you don't need to proclaim it. Your presence is enough. Calm is contagious, just like agitation. Spread the first, not the second. Remember, truth reveals itself in silence. Those who live it don't preach it. Those who understand it don't impose it. Those who embody it don't need to prove it. And when you learn to stay silent even when you have every reason to shout, you will know you have conquered your deepest freedom. With love, Dad. Beauty as resistance, art, nature, and harmony as defenses. One day you will realize that, in the midst of all the noise of the world, beauty is a whisper. It does not shout, it does not demand attention, but once you hear it, you can never forget it. It is like a scent in the air. You cannot touch it, but it changes everything. It is truth made visible, the presence of the divine in the everyday. Beauty is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It is not an ornament. It is what holds life together when everything else trembles. In an age that runs and consumes everything, recognizing beauty is an act of resistance. Resistance to haste, to superficiality, to noise. Resistance to the belief that only what can be measured has value. Resistance to a world that wants you efficient but never inspired. You don't need to be artists to defend beauty. You only need to learn to see it and to protect it. It lives in small gestures, in details, in proportions. It is in the order of a home, in the morning light coming through the window, in the way you speak to people, cleaning, fixing, choosing the right words, respecting spaces. This is all art. Because beauty is not aesthetics. It is attention. It is love taking shape. Every time you pause to listen to a silence, watch a sunset, or read a beautifully written page, you remember that you are alive, and that life, to be bearable, needs harmony. Beauty is the medicine of the soul. It does not heal wounds, but it reminds you that healing is worth it. Those who no longer see beauty no longer see truth. Those who grow accustomed to ugliness grow accustomed to evil. Those who do not seek harmony end up living in noise. Beauty will protect you from chaos. It will keep you calm, clear, present. Every time you find it, it will bring you home. Learn to create beauty wherever you go, in the way you dress, the way you work, the way you love. Leave places a little better than you found them. Be people who add order, not disorder, light, not shadow. Beauty is your signature in the world. It doesn't need to be grand, only true. Nature, too, will speak to you of beauty if you learn to listen. Walk in the woods, touch the earth, watch the sea. Nature does not shout, but it teaches. It will show you that everything beautiful is also simple, proportionate, necessary, and that harmony is the oldest law of the world. Defend beauty as you would defend truth, because in the end they are the same thing. A painting, a song, a garden, a well-written sentence. These are small, silent revolutions. Every time you choose care over neglect, grace over vulgarity, patience over anger, you are resisting the world's decay. Beauty will make you strong without hardening you. It will make you gentle without weakening you. It will keep you human when everything seems inhuman. And if one day you no longer know where to stand, follow what is beautiful, because beauty, when it is authentic, never lies. With love, Dad, technology and spirit, using the web without becoming its web. When you are grown, we will live in an even more connected world. Machines will speak to each other, artificial intelligences will write, think, and perhaps even decide. The web will be everywhere, and everything will seem easier, faster, smarter. But never forget this. What simplifies your life can also empty your mind. Technology is not the enemy. It is simply power. And every form of power depends on who uses it. It can make you grow, or it can put you to sleep. It can open the world, or it can lock you in a cage made of convenience and distraction. The difference is not in the tool. It's in the consciousness of the one holding it. The web will offer you everything: information, entertainment, knowledge, relationships. But you must learn to use it the way you use the sea, with respect. Those who dive in without understanding the currents risk getting lost. Those who learn to read the waves travel far. Use technology, but don't let it use you. Don't live inside the web. Navigate it. The web is a great illusion of company. It will make you feel connected, but often it will make you alone. It will give you the impression you are choosing, while actually suggesting what to desire. It will give you millions of opinions, but take away your voice. That is why you must always remember that the most precious thing is not access to information, but the ability to discern. Not everything you find is true. Not everything popular is right. Not everything new is better. Every time you turn on a screen, ask yourself, who is using whom? Are you seeking something or running away from yourself? Technology should expand your life, not replace it. The day you realize you look at a screen more than at a face, stop. There is no progress worth more than a real embrace, a true glance, a calm spoken word. Learn to filter what enters your mind. In the digital world, attention is the new currency. Whoever controls your attention controls you. So treat it as a treasure. Do not give minutes to what does not help you grow. Choose what to read, what to listen to, what to watch. Become the master of your algorithms, not a slave to their suggestions. Do not reject technology. Learn to direct it. Use it to learn, to create, to build bridges. Write, teach, invent. Don't be passive consumers. Be producers of meaning. The web is a mine. Inside it there is gold, and there is poison. It is up to you to choose what to extract. Never allow technology to occupy the space of silence. Sometimes, turn everything off. Not out of nostalgia, but to breathe. The mind needs emptiness to think. The heart needs quiet to feel. No virtual connection will ever replace the connection you have with yourselves. True intelligence is not artificial. It is spiritual. It is the ability to remain lucid while everything around you distracts. It is the awareness that even in the digital world you must keep the same ethics, the same measure, the same calm that you have in real life. The web does not change who you are. It amplifies who you already are. If you are lucid, you will become wiser. If you are distracted, you will become a prisoner. One day you will face machines that think for you, programs that write, judge, and speak better than you. In that moment, remember this: no machine will ever have a soul. It can imitate emotions, but not feel them. It can process information, but never compassion. And in that invisible difference, your humanity will continue to live. Use technology as you use the wind, to travel far, but with a steady hand on the helm. There is nothing wrong with flying high, as long as you remember where the sky is. The day you realize you can turn everything off and remain serene, you will know you are truly free. With love, Dad. Calm as power, managing time and energy. True strength makes no noise. It doesn't rush, push, or scramble. It is silent, slow, precise, like the breath of the sea. Someone who is calm is not passive. They are master of their own time. Someone who knows how to wait is not late. They are ahead. Because calm, my children, is the highest form of intelligence and the greatest form of power. We live in a world that confuses haste with competence, speed with value. Everyone has something to do. No one has time to understand. Calm is what allows you to move without being dragged. Those who slow down when everyone else is running are not out of rhythm. They are lucid. Those who conserve energy when others scatter it are not lazy. They are wise. Time and energy are the two most precious capitals you possess. Money comes and goes, but time once spent never returns, and energy once wasted cannot be reclaimed. Every time you give your attention to something, you are investing. And like every investment, you must ask, what does this give me in return? Calm serves exactly this purpose. Choosing where to put your energy and protecting your time from what does not matter. Being calm does not mean not acting. It means acting only when needed, in the right way, at the right moment. It is the art of conserving strength until the moment to use it arrives. A warrior who strikes first doesn't always win. The one who waits, observes, and chooses the necessary strike wins. Calm is the difference between reaction and response. Reaction is instinct. Response is awareness. The world will push you to fill every minute. It will make you believe that empty time is wasted time. But nothing is more precious than time in which nothing happens. It is there that the mind reorganizes, intuition is born, and decisions mature. Don't fill every silence. Listen to it. Don't chase every commitment. Choose it. Those who need to be constantly busy aren't productive. They are restless. Train yourselves to say no. Saying no doesn't close a door. It protects a space. Not everything deserves your attention. Every yes you give to the world is a no taken away from yourselves. Calm will teach you to choose well, to avoid being drained by what steals your energy. Remember, calm is contagious, just as haste is. If you remain calm, the world around you will slow down. People will feel safe beside you, because calm transmits trust. Those who maintain self-control become a fixed point for others. That is how you lead. Not with a loud voice, but with steady presence. One day you will understand that calm is not only an inner virtue, but a life strategy. It will save you time, mistakes, pointless arguments, impulsive decisions. It will allow you to think big, act precisely, and live with grace. Calm is the foundation of every art, every leadership, every lasting love. Have schedules, but don't become slaves to the clock. Have goals, but don't sacrifice peace to reach them. Have ambition, but don't lose your balance. Knowing when to stop is a higher form of wisdom than any race. And when everything around you becomes confusion, breathe. One deep breath can change the course of an entire day. Calm is the only luxury no one can ever take from you. And those who learn to live it become masters of their own time and destiny. With love, Dad. Leadership as service, guidance as an act of responsibility. When your time comes, someone will entrust their steps to yours. It may be a group, a family, a company, or simply yourself. And you will discover that leading is not a privilege, it is a responsibility. Being a leader does not mean standing in front, it means being the first to serve. Many confuse leadership with power. They think commanding means being obeyed. But those who truly lead do not impose, they inspire. A real leader doesn't say, "Follow me," but "Come with me." He doesn't create subjects, he creates other leaders. Remember this, leadership is not born from authority, but from consistency. People do not follow what you say, they follow what you are. If you are honest, they will follow you even in silence. If you lie, they will abandon you even while applauding. Leadership is credibility, and credibility is built through small, steady, invisible gestures. To be good leaders, you must first learn to obey, not men, but principles, not whims, but truth. A leader who has never served does not understand what it means to be guided and ends up confusing strength with domination. But those who have learned to serve know that leading is not a right, it is a labor. And the hardest labor is not governing others, but governing oneself. True leadership is born from listening. A boss speaks, a leader listens. A boss relies on control, a leader relies on trust. A boss wants to be feared, a leader wants to be believed. The first imposes discipline, the second inspires it. Because real respect cannot be demanded, it must be earned. In life, you will encounter people who try to dominate you and others who offer to follow you. In both cases, remember that leadership is not possession. People do not belong to you. They are entrusted to you for a time, like everything that matters. Treat them with respect, as you would something sacred. One day you may have to make difficult decisions. Remember then that leadership is not measured in moments of success, but in moments of crisis. When everything shakes, you see who remains calm. When others shout, the one who stays quiet and reflects becomes the anchor. A leader is not the one who has all the answers, but the one who never stops seeking them with humility. Do not fear saying, "I don't know." Those who pretend to know everything lose the trust of those who listen. Truth, even when uncertain, inspires more than empty charisma. Authenticity is the new authority. Remember that every decision you make will never concern only you. Every choice, every word, every gesture creates consequences that ripple beyond your sight. Leadership is responsibility toward the future, and the future does not belong to those who command. It belongs to those who build. Do not measure your importance by the number of people who obey you, but by the number of people who become better because of you. That is the mark of a true leader. He leaves behind men and women who are stronger, freer, more aware. Be silent guides. Do not seek thrones. Seek balance. Do not seek applause. Seek impact. Do not fear standing alone if truth requires it. One day, if you lead someone, remember this rule. Serve, do not possess. Power builds walls, service builds roads. And a leader is not the one who climbs the highest, but the one who brings the most people with him. With love, Dad, man, and the sea, navigating inner storms. With time you will realize that the sea is a state of the soul. Every life is a journey in open water. There will be days of calm and days of storm, clear skies and dark ones, favorable winds and opposing currents. And no one can promise you a peaceful sea, but they can teach you how to navigate it. Inner storms always arrive suddenly. A loss, a failure, a disappointment, a change. You will try to understand why, but there won't always be a why. Some waves can't be explained, they can only be crossed. When everything feels confused, remember that the sea neither hates nor loves. It simply does what it must. It moves. Life is the same. It does not punish or reward you. It tests you so that you can see yourselves more clearly. Every wave that hits you teaches you to stand straighter, more present, more true. Do not oppose everything that happens to you. Those who fight the sea drown. Those who listen learn to use the wind. Acceptance does not mean surrender. It means choosing not to waste energy resisting the inevitable. Use that energy instead to steer the helm, to understand where you want to go. When you are afraid, look at the horizon. It will remind you that every storm has a boundary, and that calm, sooner or later, always returns. Those who navigate learn the greatest virtue: patience. Because patience is not passive waiting. It is trust in time. And remember, the storm does not come to destroy you, but to show you what you are made of. Every time you come out of it, you will not be the same. You will be calmer, deeper, more real. Because only those who have faced the sea within themselves can then face the sea of the world. With love, Dad, the invisible inheritance, a legacy of ideas, examples, and habits. One day, my children, I will realize that I no longer have much to tell you, not because I will have stopped knowing, but because you will have learned to walk on your own. And I will understand that my true inheritance will not be my words, but the way you have lived them. The greatest inheritance is not what you leave behind, but what remains in others. Houses crumble, money gets spent, memories fade, but habits, examples, and ideas remain. They remain in the gestures you make without noticing, in the choices you take when no one is watching. They remain in the values you refuse to betray, even when betraying them would be easier. A father does not leave only advice, he leaves footprints. Every time you choose truth over convenience, every time you help someone with no advantage to gain, every time you stay calm when everything invites anger, I will know I am still there, silently, inside you. I don't care if you agree with everything I've said. I care that you learn to think with your own mind. The world does not need replicas. It needs lucid human beings. If one day you become wiser than I am, then I will have done my job well. This is what the invisible inheritance is, passing on the fire, not the ashes. I will not leave you rules, but a direction. I will not leave you beliefs, but the courage to seek truth on your own. And when you make mistakes, because you will, remember that there is no failure in someone who remains sincere. Be the continuity of the good. Be the next link in an invisible chain that connects those who came before us to those who will come after. And if one day someone, looking at you, feels more calm, more order, more trust, then you will know you have honored my inheritance better than any monument could. With love, Dad, the child who walks alone, freedom passed on, not imposed. Today you are still small. You walk unsteadily, cling to my hands, search for my eyes to understand whether the world is safe. And every time I look at you, I know that my task is not to keep you with me forever, but to prepare you to walk without me. Freedom cannot be taught with words. It is transmitted through presence, through example, through trust. Every time I let you try on your own, even knowing you will fall, I am teaching you to be free, because freedom is not doing whatever you want. It is learning to stand up again, every time. I would love to protect you from everything, but I know I can't, and I know I mustn't. One day you will understand that every hardship, every obstacle, every wound exists to make you stronger, truer, more human. I won't always be next to you, but I hope that inside you there will be a calm voice, mine, whispering, breathe, look, decide with your heart, not with fear. There will come a time when you will no longer ask for my hand to cross the street, but for my advice to cross your life. And I will listen, but I won't tell you what to do. I will watch you, knowing that the right choice is the one you will discover on your own. Because the greatest love is not the one that holds on, but the one that lets go. I don't want you to become what I desire. I want you to become what you are. I didn't bring you into the world to fulfill my dream, but to realize yours. And my task, for as long as I am here, will be only this, to teach you to recognize your own voice amid the noise of the world. There will be moments when you will want to run away from me, and that is exactly as it should be. Every child to become an adult must take distance. But I promise you this, every time you turn back, you will always find my light on. Not to tell you where to go, but to remind you where you came from. When you are grown and walking through the world, remember your origins. Freedom is not an escape. It is a form of gratitude. Being free does not mean forgetting who raised you, but honoring what taught you to stand tall. I will walk beside you for as long as needed. Then I will slowly step back, like the sea retreats when it knows the shore is solid. And when I see you go far, I will not be afraid, because I will know that everything meant to stay is already inside you. With love, Dad. The end of the cave. Where fear ends, life begins. You were born in the light. You don't yet know what it means to live among shadows, but one day you will see them and recognize them. Because I have been in the cave, and I know what it is like. I have seen men mistake shadows for reality, settle for reflections, worship their chains. I have seen fear disguise itself as safety, lies become rules, obedience become virtue. And I understood that this was not life, it was conditioning. I came out for this reason, to show you that truth truly exists, that light is not a dream, but a condition built every day through awareness and courage. And I promise you this, I will never return to the cave, because my mission now is to keep you from entering it. One day the world will try to convince you that the cave doesn't exist. They will tell you that you are free, that you can choose everything, while at the same time attempting to decide for you what to think, what to say, what to desire. They will teach you to fear being alone, to distrust truth, to chase approval instead of conscience. And in that moment, you must remember me, the man who turned back to light a torch and show you the way out. You will not need to flee the cave. You will need to recognize it every time it appears before you. It may change shape, a school, an office, a news headline, an idea, but its purpose will always be the same, to make you doubt your own light. Never allow it. Whoever tells you that freedom is dangerous is already asking you to surrender it. The world you find outside will not be perfect. There will be storms, injustices, trials, moments of doubt. But the difference is that you will know how to navigate them. Because those born in the light do not fear the shadow. They cross it, illuminate it, use it to orient themselves. Freedom doesn't make you immune to difficulty, but invincible on the inside. Remember this, the cave does not collapse through anger, but through clarity. You don't need to destroy it. Just stop believing it. Every time you speak the truth, a stone falls. Every time you choose with conscience, a chain breaks. And in the end, only light remains. I will show you the cave, explain what it is, who built it, how it works. So when the world tries to pull you inside, you will recognize its walls and remain outside, in the light you inherited and must protect. But I ask you not only to remain free, I ask you to make freedom flourish. Build, create, love. Help others out. Light is not a refuge, it is a seed. If it doesn't grow, it dies. Your task is not only to protect it, but to spread it. And one day, when you have children of your own, remember to show them the cave, just as I am doing with you. Because light is not a gift passed down. It is a knowledge taught. Those who know how to recognize darkness will never be slaves to it. This, my children, is the true end of the cave, not escape, but continuity, not abandonment, but construction, not fear, but awareness. As long as you can see, speak, and live in truth, no chain will ever touch you. And then the world, with all its shadows, will no longer be a prison, but a land to be illuminated. With love, Dad. Epilogue. The letter that never changes. If one day everything I have built should disappear, don't try to save it. Find each other, because as long as you remain united, the light will keep passing through. Remember, freedom is not noise, it is presence. It is not escape, it is vision. It is not domination, it is love in action. And when you find yourselves alone, look around. You will never truly be alone. I will be in the way you breathe, in the way you look at truth, in the way you say no, without hatred, and yes, without fear. Out of this world is not a place, it is a condition of the soul. And whoever reaches it never goes back. With love, Dad. For Anna, who kept my flame alive on the days when I trembled. For you, Roman and Gianfranco Leone, who are the compass that gave meaning to my steps. Out of this world, letters to my children on how to stay free. Audiobook by Francesco Comito. Thank you.